Well, good afternoon. I felt, it wasn't about me, but it was about America. I felt a genuine sense of enthusiasm that America was back at the table and fully engaged. I felt, it wasn't about me, but it was about America. I felt a genuine sense of enthusiasm to make the case we are back as well. We do not view NATO as a sort of I think we're in a contest, not with China per se, but a contest with autocrats, autocratic governments around the world, as whether or not democracies can compete with them in the rapidly changing 21st century. And I think how we act and whether we pull together as democracies is going to determine whether our grandkids look back 15 years from now and say, did they step up? Are democracies as relevant and as powerful as they have been?
Vladimir Putin, who you'll be seeing in a few days in Geneva, said just a couple of days ago that he believed that U.S.-Russia relations were at a low point.
Well, let me make it clear. I think he's right, it's a low point, and it depends on how he responds to acting consistent with international norms, which in many cases he has not.
So are you open to that kind of a trade with Vladimir Putin?
Yes, I'm open to, if there's crimes committed against Russia, that in fact are and the people committing those crimes being harbored in the United States, I'm committed to holding them accountable. I heard that. I was told as I was flying here that he said that. I think that's potentially a good sign and progress.
What did you argue behind the scenes to try to bring people to the point where they got?
We haven't had access to the laboratories to determine whether or not, I have not reached a conclusion because our intelligence community is not certain yet, whether or not this was a consequence of from the marketplace of a bat and interfacing with animals in the environment that caused this COVID-19, or whether it was an experiment gone awry in a laboratory. It's important to know the answer to that because we have to have access, we have to build a system whereby we can know when we see another lack of transparency might produce another another pandemic. We have to have access. The world has to have access. So we're trying to figure out at the G7 whether we could put together an international basis upon which we could have a bottom line with what the transparency accounted for.
The final language in the G7 communique does have some mentions of China, which is different from past years.
Transitioning the world to cleaner energy sources is urgent, it's essential. If we're going to beat the climate, and there is, one of the things some of my colleagues said to me when I was there was, well, the United States' leadership recognizes there is global warming. And I know that sounds silly, but we had a president who basically said it's not a problem, global warming. It is the existential problem facing humanity, and it's being treated that way. Basis upon which we could have a bottom line with what the transparency they could improve that they wanted. But I'm satisfied. Steve?
And what are your plans?
120 days. Give me a break. Need time.